This video presentation covers business GIS and business mapping and their roles within the field of marketing and also within the Emerging Technologies and Marketing Initiative at Murray State University. We'll talk about the goal of marketing, the role of environmental scanning and opportunity analysis in that process, and then look at the ways some of these tools, business GIS and business mapping, can be used in segmentation, targeting, and also communication efforts by organizations. Marketing is a discipline which focuses on trying to identify opportunities in the market which firms can then respond to profitably. It is essentially a discovery, environmental scanning, and targeting process. This is opportunity analysis. So the goal of a marketing strategy is to identify groups of customers whose needs have been inadequately or insufficiently met by current offerings, and then to respond to that with marketing strategies and marketing mixes which are composed of elements of the 4Ps. In that process, the approach of segmenting and targeting markets is a key factor of success. And these are some of the reasons why firms adopt these strategies. Markets actually in mature countries of the world are naturally segmented, and firms then try and respond to that segmentation. They're looking for groups that are the same within the group and different between groups, and also have sufficient size to be targeted profitably. Segmenting occurs at the macro level, that is between countries, and at the micro level, that is within countries or regions, and these are some of the factors that are used and dimensions that are used to segment markets at those levels. At the macro segmentation level, demographics, values, cross-country clusters are some of the things that firms are looking for. Let's illustrate a business GIS application here. In this one, the countries of the world, and you can see the query process, are being selected on the basis of the demographic values that they represent for this particular company. The demographic values are widely available, and that's pretty easily done, but they can also be integrated with cultural values. So you see this is a grid of the Hofstede system that identifies countries by masculinity and femininity on that index, but also uncertainty avoidance. Once countries are defined by those variables, they can be placed in those categories and then mapped. And so this map illustrates the distribution around the world of countries with feminine versus masculine values in the Hofstede system, and then that then can be incorporated into the screening process and the segmenting process to identify those particular countries which have both the demographic characteristics but also the cultural values that you're looking for. So those are some of the ways in which segmentation is done at the macro level. At the micro level, there are a whole range of different variables that can be used. Demographic variables on the left, geographic regions or characteristics of a country in the middle, and then geodemography, which combines demographic characteristics along with demographic and lifestyle data on the far right. Let's take a look at some of those. This is a segmentation and targeting scheme in Florida, for example, that targets counties by the number of families in target market households by county. And so identifying the top 10 counties, we can target those with a media advertising campaign. For a direct marketing approach, we would use zip codes. And to enhance the response rate and cut down on wasted mailings, we would want those zip codes with the highest percentage of families in the target market. And this illustrates where those zip codes are located around the state of Florida. With an outdoor living type of a show, that we might want to put our products on display within a particular urban area. This is the Tampa area. We might want to balance the number of households in our target market with the ranges in which people generally come to an outdoor show, and then try and create geographic balance across the region. In this particular application, the map is absolutely crucial for the geographic or spatial distribution that we're looking for. Business GIS also facilitates lifestyle segmentation. This illustrates some of the types of ways that lifestyle segments are identified in terms of how people behave, the types of things they buy, what they do, when they buy, the stages of loyalty, and then general lifestyle patterns on the far right. We will focus on the tapestry system of that. So here's an example of the variation of those. This one illustrates a group of segments within an organization that depends on donors for its livelihood. And as you can see, the variation and distribution of donors is quite different. There's a group of people, the platinum donors, relatively small in number, that account for a very large proportion of the overall gifts to the organization. Silver donors, on the other hand, make up the highest percentage of donors, their average contribution is relatively small and their percentage of contribution is relatively small, but they are very important because of their numbers. By taking a look at the tapestry or lifestyle characteristics of those customers, we learn a little bit more about them. Notice here, for example, the Green Acres and Cozy Comfortable groups, number 17 and 18 on the list, are very similar demographically. And yet, if you look at their behavior in terms of the types of things they buy and where they live and where they're located, there's quite a bit of difference here. And so the ability to include these sorts of factors in the behavioral process are very important. And this table illustrates the way that can be done with the tapestry segmentation system, which identifies clusters of those tapestry segmentation segments within the target market for a particular group. We can use those numbers to identify where concentrations of those customers or donors are. Here, the dark green represents areas in which we have very large numbers of target households, lighter green where it's a little bit less. We can then also use that as a way to move beyond our current markets and grow into other markets across the country. Here, the markets in dark green are the ones that are most favorable to us in terms of the presence of segments that are particularly important to us within those geographic regions. And then as you drill down within a particular region, this shows how the distribution of those target populations around the region can help us locate specific locations from which we might want to serve those customers or those groups. We can also extend that analysis into the behavioral patterns of those groups. This, for example, the core index is those core tapestry groups that make our major customer block, and this indicates some of the types of behavior they have in terms of their consumption of health care related products or home improvement related products. This indicates some of their major activities in which they engage. This can help us with promotion, help us know what to communicate about, help us know what to tie our products or services to. And then finally, their media exposure gives us some idea in traditional media, but also in internet and electronic media about how we might be able to reach those groups of consumers. So, in general then, in the marketing process, the Business GIS plays the role of supporting segmentation and targeting strategies. It helps us extend those strategies to include lifestyle as well as demographic factors, and also helps us look at behavioral patterns when we want to do that type of segmentation as well as demographic characteristics. When we move over into the response side of the process, business mapping can help us by communicating important spatial information about business. Where is it located? How to get there? What's around it? It establishes a foundation about which communities can be built by creating an environment in which people contribute by reviews or post pictures or that sort of thing. And it also gives us some content, some maps and other types of content that we can use to post in other social media and expand the effectiveness of those. So that completes this presentation on the role of Business GIS and business mapping and marketing, and also within the Emerging Technologies and Marketing Initiative.